Shalom, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Welcome. This is the free astrotheology course. Just one moment. All right. So let me get this together, y'all. All right. So this is the free astrotheology course. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Our course textbook is Astrology, the Astrology of the Old Testament, or the Lost Word Regained. Okay, y'all? So we're going to pick it up where we left off. If you missed me, I'm back. I hope. I hope I can make it through this live stream without coughing. So, those of you who are concerned about me, I'm feeling much better. So let's pick it up on page 118. 118. Chapter 11. You know what, y'all? Let me see. Hold on. I can't show my screen. I forgot. You know, it's been so long since since I've gone live. I forgot that I can't do a screen share in the app that I'm in right now. So you're gonna have to bear with me. And besides, lately, y'all, I've had so many problems with my payment methods. For whatever reason, none of them are working. So if you click the Zoom link, if you don't get in, don't worry, I'm trying to get it fixed, but I'm having all kind of problems right now, y'all. That I need to attend to. But anyway, page 113, and we just make it do what it do. Y'all like and share the video. Help me so that I don't have to worry about the teaching and the distribution, okay? So, like, share, and subscribe. Also comment, okay? It's very helpful. At least that's what they say. So here we are, chapter 11. And did y'all notice what happened leading up to the eclipse? Let me share something with y'all. Let me review. I think the last one or two videos I did, I talked about how, I discussed, but it's in chapter 10, that whenever there's a eclipse and a comet, etc., major things have happened in terms of global politics. All right? So let's take a look at something. Just for example, this is chapter 10, which begins on page 112. All right? Let's go back. So this is we're going to start at page 115. 115. The last paragraph. Listen to how this reads, y'all. In Percy's quote-unquote Science of the Stars. This is a book I gotta get. A little work, so a little book, which I advise all interested in astrology to read on page 32 and 33. Now, isn't that interesting? It's on page 32 and 33. Y'all think that's by mistake? Are you that naive? On page 32 and 33, chapter 7. How about that? You think that's by mistake? 7. Look at these numbers, y'all. Look at these numbers. On pages 32 and 33, Okay, 32, 3 plus 2 is 5, 3 plus 3 is 6. Y'all already know what 3 means, right? You already know what 6 means, right? So, and then 7. So 5, 6, 7. So we have 5, 6, and 7. Okay? So I went through the astronomical meaning of number 2, number 3, number 6, and number 7 when we went through the Gospel and the Zodiac. The link to the Gospel Zodiac, the free PDF, is in the description of this video. You'll see the significance of those numbers. Now, y'all think that's coincidence? Are you that naive? Perfect harmony, perfect rulership. Oh, where are we? Hold on, 1 second. Go ahead. So 3 plus 3 is 6. And then we have 7. So 7 plus 6 is 13. Christ, 12 apostles plus Christ, that's 13. Perfect rulership, right? The kingdom of the heavens, perfect. Because remember, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost are one. And Christ told his inner circle, his apostles, that they would be with him in heaven, ruling. Y'all see it? The number 13 is only an unlucky number for you. Why? Because in Christianity is commerce. And they've given you the center position, which is the debtor position. Okay? They've given themselves the creditor position. Why? Because they're going to rule in heaven. Y'all see that? Do y'all see that? So 12 apostles plus Christ, the 12 zodiac signs plus the Escheat sun. This is perfect rulership. For them, not you. What's perfect for you is not what's in your best interest. Because perfect rulership for that 13 means you're in bondage, you are oppressed. You are a debt slave. You're held as surety. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're held as surety. In the West, you're held as surety for what? For the ens legis, or the straw. Does everyone see this? Now, let's go back to it. And remember, this is all about rulership. So we're talking about what? The land. Who gets beneficial use over the land? Who's the lawmaker? Who's the landlord? Blessings and curses. All right, y'all? So here it is again. In Percy's quote-unquote Science of the Stars, a little work which I advise all interested in astrology to read. On page 32 and 33. Chapter 7. The author says, listen, quote, comets were regarded as portents by the ancient and medieval astrologers. So if they're talking about ancient, they're not talking about hybrid troglodyte niggers. They're not talking about Neanderthals. They're not talking about cavemen. When you talk ancient, you're talking about the Moors. Prior to the Moors, what? We were called Moabites, Canaanites, Hittites, all of that. In other words, we're talking about those of us who are sprung from the soil. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Ancient. Okay, ancient. Prior to that, there never was a time when man was not. Man is thought made manifest from the soil. This is ancient. Everybody see? And time is a construct of the physical universe. Right? So let's continue. Comets are regarded as portents. What does that mean? Signs. If you see a comet, that's a sign of something that's going to happen. Now, is that by hocus pocus, devil worship, stuff like that? Absolutely not. Now, y'all know that with this eclipse, they said that there was what? A devil, I think they call it a devil comet, meaning that the comet had two tails like a horn. So, for example, so my two fingers would be, let's say this is the comet, and my two fingers would be the tails as they allegedly, you know, travel through space. It has two tails. All right? So it's a portent or a sign that something is going to happen. Now listen, Alba Mazar and Enkims averred that comets become first visible in Aries. All right. Comets, you can see them first in Aries. Let me rephrase that. Alba Mazar and Enkims averred that comets becoming visible in Aries pre-signify evil to nobles. So anytime that a comet is first visible in Aries, it means that something bad is going to happen to a noble. And grandees in eastern parts. Well, who are the nobles? This book was written in 1892. Alba Mazar, let me get his date. Hold on, let me get the time he was living. Hold on. Give me 1 second. As a matter of fact, let me make sure we have good. I don't even know if y'all can hear me. Mic check, mic check. Okay, we're good. All right, so let me get the date for Alba Mazar. And these mosquitoes here are too much, y'all. I got on a pair of long socks and they bit. I could feel them biting me through my socks. Alba Mazar. Hold on, I'm just getting his birthday. So let's see. Let's see if we can get his date of birth. Okay, it says born Alba Mazar. Born August 10th, 787. Died March 9th, 886. Was a leading astrologer of the Muslim world, who is known for his theory that the world created when 7 planets were in conjunction in the first degree of Aries will come to an end at a like junction in the last degree of. I don't believe that. Any of this, the world coming to the end business, end time prophecy and all of that, that's hocus pocus garbage, y'all. That's religion. Abu-Mazr's reputation as an astrologer was immense, both amongst his contemporaries and in later times. Okay, so that's enough with that. So now we see the connection to Aries, right? So who are the nobles? Well, you're looking at one of them. You're looking at one of them, right? But would that also include nobles who are not Moors? Absolutely. 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 Okay? So let's continue. So these comets would signify evil to nobles and grandees in eastern parts. Let me look up this word grandees because I'm not really sure what he means by grandees. Okay, let's see. Okay, grandee. Okay, it ends with an S, but it's pronounced grandee. Grandee, noun, a nobleman of the highest rank in Spain or Portugal. Okay, so obviously Abu-Mazr didn't say that. Okay. But this book was published in 1892. All right, 1892. So in other words, this definition, Spain and Portugal, they're not ancient. They didn't exist during Abu-Mazr's time. A nobleman of the highest rank in Spain or Portugal, used as a title for such a nobleman. A person of immense or high rank. Now these would have been the concepts that would have been around in Abu-Mazr's day, not Spain and Portugal. Okay? So let's see. A grandee is an important person, especially in a particular job or area of public life. This is dictionarycambridge.org. Okay? Grandee, nobility, aristocracy, titles. From Britannica, it says grandee is a title of honor for the highest class of the Spanish nobility, but also a rank of sovereign princes in Europe. So y'all listen. In this time frame, they're talking about what? Hybrids. Probably renegade Moors and hybrids. Okay? It's the medieval time. But anyway, let's continue. All right, so evils to nobles and grandees in eastern parts. I don't know what these eastern parts specifically refer to, what land masses they specifically refer to. And in these countries, influence, so and that's the other thing, countries. I'm not too sure what they mean by countries. Okay, that's a broad and ambiguous term. And in those countries influenced by that sign. So he's saying the country, now you have to keep in mind that the countries that exist today are not what, let me rephrase that. Nations, in other words, families, bloodlines that are attached or that sprung from the soil or that are on a land by land grant, quote unquote, from the Most High. These are nations sharing a common culture, heritage, commerce, law, etc., etc., etc. Okay? Kingdom, empires. but not nation states. So I don't know how they are using this word country. Is this a nation state that they're referring to? It sounds like a nation state to me. So y'all see the eras of time. The eras of time are mixed in terms of the usage of these words. Y'all see that? And in those countries influenced by that sign. I'll give you an example. Europe carved up Africa, what's now known as Africa, into 50-something what? Countries. They didn't exist, those countries didn't exist in ancient times. Y'all see it? The United States didn't exist in ancient times. So what are they talking about? And to sit here and write and use this word countries, I think is disingenuous and misleading. But anyway, let's continue. Those countries influenced by that sign, drought, drying up of fountains, etc. So, what is he saying here? Something horrific, something negative will happen to nobles. When you look at that in terms of we Moors who are following the Most High's commandments, living in harmony with nature. When you read Deuteronomy 28, verse 1 through 14, you're protected by nature, by natural law. You're protected from those kinds of harmful events. Does everyone see that? So we can exclude Moors who are living in harmony with the Most High's commandments. Or like I said, which the equivalent statement is Moors who are living in harmony with nature. But those Moors who are not would be exposed to these events. So these events, when we talk about the Hermetic Laws, y'all remember I haven't talked a lot about the Hermetic Laws since we've been in this book. But in the book we did before this, was it the Devil's, was it? I don't know what I did before this. Was it the Devil's Pulpit? I don't remember. But I talked a lot more about the Hermetic Laws. But the Hermetic Laws would apply for those Moors who are in the lower self. Do y'all remember how? Do y'all remember how? Well, the mass consciousness. You'd be swept away in the current of mass consciousness. So those things that influence everyone would influence you too. Why? Because in order to, remember y'all know that the lesser Hermetic law, the lesser law of transmutation, the lesser law of neutralization, right? So when you transmute from the lower self, so the law of, hold on. The law of polarity. So Christ and the devil. Winter solstice, summer solstice. June 22, December 22. Okay? Christ and the devil. The law of opposites. The Hermetic law of polarity. Christ is the devil. Ezekiel chapter 1. I think it's verse 1 through 17. Okay? The Tetragrammaton Yahweh is the devil. Cloven-footed bastard, as we commonly say where I'm from. talking about the devil. That's also the four living creatures, etc., that are in there. Remember, that's astrological. The four living creatures, the bull, the head of a bull, Taurus. The head of a lion, Leo. The head of an eagle, Scorpio. And the head of a man, Aquarius. And what? What? The Phoenician Canaanite or Canaanite Phoenician Tau. In Greek, they changed it to what? Tau. The cross. Y'all see that? And where does God dwell? Here. At the intersection of the lines. God dwells what? Between the cherubs. All right? The central fire. But where was that at? Ah, the law of opposites. Let me just use my formula. So summer solstice, winter solstice, okay? So you must transmute the lower self, higher self. So you have to transmute up. You have to what? Rise. Ascend. Upward through what? Transmutation. Transmutation of what? Your thinking and your character and your behavior. You must go from lower self to higher self. Religion is always lower self, no matter how holy you think you are. Any worship of an external deity, you don't know who you are. And you're violating the first commandment. Have no other power before my face. Who is this mine? Who is mine? Man is thought made manifest from the soil. Thought is the first Hermetic law. All is mind. I'm not going to tell you, hopefully you see it. So now you have to transmute up. Christ the devil. Opposite ends of the same line. Higher self and lower self. Right? Y'all see it? Same nature. Christ and the devil, same nature, meaning it's on the same line. The only difference is how you think, what your habits are, and what habits are behavior. Right? That means your behavior. How you think and your behavior. So now, as a cosmic energy, whatever zodiacal age we are in, let's say if we're in Aquarius right now, or if we're in Pisces, whatever the mass energy is for the zodiacal age, it's gonna come and sweep you in that direction. Just like if you're in the river, the current is gonna pull you. Okay? So the cosmic current is going to pull you unless you do what? Transmute upward and above the clouds. Right? The birds are not getting rained on when it's raining. They're flying above the clouds. The rain is coming from the clouds. They're flying above the clouds. So when you transmute to the higher self, you become Christ. You become Christ. You're flying above the storm. So that mass consciousness, that mass current of consciousness is not going to sweep you away with it. Okay? Y'all see the natural phenomena? As above, so below. As below, so above. We fly above the storm clouds. And in this way, we transmute and therefore neutralize. We neutralize that powerful cosmic current. We don't get swept away in it. But those dirty Moors, those lower self Moors, will get swept away in the mass cosmic current. Okay, so when that comet comes, that's a portent for something really terrible, from death by, let's say, assassination or something else, if you're a dirty mark, you're going to get caught up in that current. In other words, it'll happen to you, or it can happen to you. All right? Because you cannot overcome the current. Y'all ever heard about people drowning in a river, or in a lake, or in an ocean? The current will pull you down, or if it doesn't pull you down, you're swimming against the current. After a minute or a couple minutes, you're totally exhausted. Well, it's the same way. All right, so now we see the natural phenomena and the Hermetic Laws. Okay, so we saw cosmic current, the astrological or cosmic current, right? The law of polarity, the lesser law of transmutation, also neutralization. So we neutralize that by flying above the storm clouds. And then we do what? We get our location here in the higher self, and what do? We stay there. How? Through cosmic habit force. That means you develop the habits, the thinking, the habitual thinking, and the behavior that follows it. So that now there's no struggle, there's no resistance in you to behave in the higher self. In other words, you're in honor and you stay in honor at all times. You're living in harmony with nature at all times and at all costs. By polarizing where? Polarizing in the higher self, at the Christ node. Y'all see it? At the Christ node, you polarize there. Right now, most of us are polarized either at the extreme. A lot of us are absolute devils. Absolute devils and Satans. Many, especially the priestcraft. Especially the priestcraft amongst the Hebrew Israelites and the Christians. These are the ones I know best. Okay? These are the lowest devils and Satans. But then there are some of y'all who might be neither hot nor cold, but lukewarm. And what does Jesus say? He's going to spit you out. Because you're neither hot nor cold, but you're lukewarm. When I used to play basketball as a kid, they would say shoot or dribble. Right? Shoot or dribble. I went off on a long tangent, but I hope y'all see the point. All right? Incomes avers that comets becoming first visible in Aries pre-signify evil to nobles. All right, you dirty Moors, that applies to you. And grandees, so this would be a broad term applying to not just Moors, but also the hybrids. Okay? These would be influencers, corporate influencers. Now we have social media influencers, political influencers, so on and so forth. Everybody see that? The grandees. All right. So it says in eastern parts. I don't know what eastern parts mean. So I can assume he's talking about the eastern part of the earth, but I don't know. Is he talking about the eastern part of a specific landmass? Now I know for a certain that the old world is not Africa. Okay, some of y'all might take issue with it, but eastern parts is not specific, okay? So we don't know what he's talking about. And in those countries influenced by that sign. So a lot of y'all are thinking, well, let's just go out, let's just go find out what countries are influenced by Aries. Okay, we could do that. But can you rely on that? What is that based on? Did these countries exist during Albumazar's time? Is that the landmass that Albumasar was talking about? Or did they switch it on you? Did they flip the script on you? See, nobody gives away power. Power has to be taken. And nobody's going to tell you, give you a key to overthrowing them or to outpowering them. You have to use your own analytical mind, put two and two together. Y'all heard? Okay, now let's continue. So in these countries, wherever they might be in this landmass, on this landmass, having to do with this nation or empire, or in the plural, nations or empires, drought would occur when a comet was first seen in Aries. Drying up of the bodies of waters would come. Okay? So now, there'd be a drought on the land, which means what? Famine. Famine. And the rivers, lakes, and streams would also dry up. Everybody see that? That's very interesting. I wonder if there was a comet during the Exodus. I'm sorry, not during the Exodus, but during Joseph's time, during the alleged drought. If y'all haven't watched the video that I did with about the drought, I think that was the last, one or two videos, maybe 3 videos I did about, not the drought, about Joseph enslaving the Egyptians. Y'all should watch that. So I'm wondering if they're alleging that there was an eclipse and or a comet during that time. Okay? Now, I hope that I was able to show you beyond a reasonable doubt that Joseph actually did enslave the Egyptians, and they gave us a romantic story to attach ourselves to emotionally. That is a playbook on how to get a group of people to willingly, voluntarily agree to go into slavery. Okay? So at some point I'm going to, now I started researching this and I found several articles where Jewish people have actually written about this. They don't deny it. What they're saying is that Joseph loved his people so much, and he knew what the Egyptians would do to his people, meaning that he knew that the Egyptians would put the Israelites in slavery in the future. So, according to them, Joseph enslaved them first. Enslaved them first. To weaken them, so that they would not be as strong as they would have been had Joseph not enslaved them. To make the slavery easier on his people. Do y'all hear this nonsense? To me, this sounds like the Yaqub story, where Yaqub, who created the hybrid troglodyte nigger that is memorialized in Genesis chapter 1. I think it's verse 26. The Hermaphrodite, who was commissioned to have all moving things under their control. In other words, to have dominion, to have jurisdiction over, to have superiority over when you start uh, looking into the actual meaning of the word. Okay, give me 1 second. Man, these mosquitoes are very aggressive. They're, oh, hold on. Okay. All right, y'all. I lost my thought. Where was it? Oh, but that's total nonsense, right? Well, let me stop. But I'm gonna find at some point I invited some Hebrew Israelites to come on my channel here and present the Hebrew Israelite case in favor of Joseph being a good, honorable man and saving the Israelites. But nobody replied to me. No one. But if y'all watching this video, you know who you are. If you want to come on my channel and make the case for Joseph being a good man, not being a slave master, not being a deceitful slaver, y'all welcome to do it. I won't challenge you on anything. I just like to have your opinion, your point of view, so that people can listen to it and take it and do whatever they're going to do with it. Okay? So the invitation still stands. I might ask you questions for clarification, but I'm definitely not going to do a got you, or no, what they say, gotcha, is it gotcha moment or something like that? I'm not going to try to make you look bad. I'm not going to even challenge you. I might just ask a question for clarification. Okay, or I might not even ask you anything. Okay, so now y'all, let's continue. So these comets we see, when they come in Aries, when they're first seen in Aries, can signal drought on the land, which would lead to a famine, and what else? The drying up of the bodies of water, rivers, lakes, and streams. Okay? Or the death or something terrible happening to a noble or a person who has influence or a high position in a corporation or government. All right? Now, let's continue. Here's an example. The comet of 1870. Y'all can research this, okay? The comet of 1870 appeared in Aries, the sign ruling Germany. Okay? And very near the degree of right ascension, that's Aries, right? And very near the degree of right ascension of the SU Sun and Mars at the beginning of Napoleon III. Okay, so when Napoleon, if I'm understanding this correctly, when Napoleon III was born, there was a comet that appeared again in Aries. All right? And y'all all know about Napoleon. Now, let's continue. Drought was experienced in most parts of Europe. So, according to this author, Europe is the East. Drought was experienced in most parts of Europe in that year. That's very interesting, don't y'all think? 1870, the hybrids had already taken over. The terrible Franco-German War was begun in July 1870. Let me get that to y'all again. The comet of 1870 appeared in Aries, the sign ruling Germany. The terrible Franco-German War began in July 1870. So wait a minute, y'all. How many months went by before that war began? How many months went by before that war began? In other words, the comet was seen, how many months went by? Let's continue. How many months, how many days, weeks, months will go by before something like this happens after the April 8th eclipse and comet? That's what I'm trying to get to. And in the following September, Louis Napoleon surrendered to the king of Persia at Sedan. See, y'all, the author's point here is that things are not going to happen boom on April 8th. No, there's going to be days, weeks, or months that go by. For example, Iran served out justice. I'm speaking from Iran's point of view. Served out justice to Israel for bombing its consulate. So what's going to happen after this? Huh? What's going to happen with Ukraine? I think there's 28 wars going on Earth. What's going to happen with the weather? Okay? Now, I don't know. I should find, I'm going to try to find out. Was this comet seen first in Aries? I don't know. I wish, is there any astrologer here that would know? Did this comet show up, y'all? I don't know how to determine it. Y'all know astrology is not astrotheology. The two are different. Let me say it again. Astrology is not astrotheology. Okay, so let's continue. But also, y'all notice in September, Louis Napoleon surrendered to the king of Prussia. Next paragraph, page 116. The appearance of Dante's comet in 1858 was quickly followed by the Italian War of 1859. Huh. Wow, I wonder if that's a full 12 months, or how many months went by from the appearance of Dante's comet until the Italian War. How many months was that? I'm sure there's got to be some books, y'all, that has this information. Anyway, let's continue. The appearance of the Great Comet of 1861 coincided with the Great Conflagration in London, which had not been equaled for 200 years, and was immediately followed by the outbreak of civil war in the United States. So is that what's happening? Or how about this, y'all? How about this? What if, and I thought about this a couple days ago, what if the plan is, what if these astrologers have planned. Y'all remember we talked about planetary hours and all of that, capturing or harnessing cosmic energy, and then timing whatever it is you want to do to increase the success of it by using the cosmic energy. Y'all remember that? In other words, let me not go into that. What if this happened? What if the plan is to have a red flag attack in North America, like what happened in New York with the Twin Towers? What if that's the plan? To make an excuse, right? To make an excuse for the corporate U.S. to take action, some form of military action, or to broaden the war. What if that happens? It makes total sense because, you know, they have been letting in all of those people through the borders. I mean, who knows? Who knows what? Maybe it's not going to be the U.S. corporate state. Maybe it'll be Canada, Britain. I mean, who knows? Right? I don't know their plan. Okay, y'all, but we have to be free thinkers. Free thinkers. Just because on the news they're talking about what will Israel do, what will Hamas. No, you have to think for yourself. What will these other parties do? What have they done in the past? What they've done in the past is most likely what they're going to do in the future, right? Which is red flag attacks. And then use those as an excuse to initiate a war. Okay? That's the playbook. Now, let's continue. So, by the way, maybe that will spark a civil war. Okay? This comet appeared in Gemini, the sign of the United States and of London. Y'all hear that? Gemini is the sign of the United States and London. Now, before there ever was a United States, well, there was no United States. So how is Gemini a sign for the United States? The United States is not ancient. Y'all see the point I'm trying to make? So who said that Gemini is the sign for the United States? Who said that? Did they just make all of this stuff up? Or is Gemini a sign for North America? For the Maghrib al-Aqsa. Right? The temple of the moon and sun. Y'all follow what I'm saying? And according to our Moorish elders, Europe was, y'all don't quote me on this, because I usually don't talk about this. I usually, it's never really come up into any of my discussions. But Europe, of course, I don't want to say the elder's name because I don't want him to think, I don't know the guy. I don't know the gentleman, rather, and I don't want him to think that I'm using his name without his permission or trying to get some benefit. But I think it's Queen Nefertiti's daughter. right? And then only more recently, the Albions, or the albinos, the troglodytes, the Paleolithic cavemen were sent up into Europe. Okay, y'all? And we went through London. We went through what London is in the Devil's Pulpit. We went through the etymological meaning of London. It has nothing to do with any hybrids. Y'all go back and check that, okay? Go back and check it. The link to the Devil's Pulpit is in the description area of this video. Okay, and it's quite interesting what you find London actually means. It is astrological, all right? It is astrotheology. So this sign appeared in Gemini, the sign of the United States. Let me change that. This sign appeared in Gemini, the sign of the Maghrib al-Aqsa, the North Gate, the temple of the moon and sun. As a matter of fact, let me give y'all, hold on. Listen. This is North America. This is our land, okay? Temple of the moon and sun. Northwest Amaxa. Northwest Africa. North America. The North Gate. Temple of the moon and sun. Okay? Give me one moment. Give me 1 second, okay? Oh boy. Y'all be patient, all right? I'm gonna put this in here so if y'all hear it again, you'll be familiar with it. I'm doing this for people who are unfamiliar with some of the terminology that I'm using. Okay, so Maghrib al-Aqsa, Northwest Amaxum, North America. Okay, so this is our land. These are the terminologies that we use for the geographical territory. Okay? What's the connection? Kemet. The connection is Kemet, Egypt. Right? Everybody see? So is that what the author, is that what's behind or underneath this veil of Gemini being what? The sign of the United States and of London? Let's continue. Mr. Pierce omits the assassination of Lincoln. The year 1881 was signalized by the appearance of 3 comets. Y'all see that? 3 comets. There were 3 comets. The Great Comet B, was first seen in the second decanate, the second decanate of Gemini. Okay, so now here we're talking again about the Maghreb al-Aqsa, North America, the North Gate. The 22nd of May. Oh, wait. The Great Comet, Comet B, was first seen in the second decanate of Gemini on the 22nd of May. And on the 2nd of July, 1881, the President of the United States, who was Garfield, was shot. Okay, so when they're talking about Aries, looks like they're talking about in the month of March. Okay? Unless some astrologer can tell me otherwise, I think they're talking about March. Why? Because in Gemini, they're talking about May. But I don't know. So Garfield is a what? Garfield would have been a grandee. A grandee. Okay? Now, let's continue. Great storms, perfect hurricanes, and volcanic action quickly followed the appearance of this comet. So it appears to be that when a comet shows up, is first seen in Aries, it's going to produce what? A drought and a drying up of the bodies of water. So drought and famine, drying up of the bodies of water. But when a comet appears in Gemini, it's going to produce what? Great storms. So the exact opposite, the polar opposite. Great storms, perfect hurricanes, and volcanic action. Y'all know volcano, that's lava, right? That's flowing. That is supposed to be melted rock, but it's flowing. So in each of these cases, the great storms, water is flowing, right? Air is flowing. Perfect hurricanes, the water is flowing. The volcanic action, the lava is flowing. But when a comet appears in Aries, everything is evaporating. It's all evaporating and it's dry. There's no flow. There's no flow. Y'all see? They're the extreme opposites. Which would again be what? The law of polarity or the law of opposites. Okay, y'all? Now, let's excuse me. Y'all see I'm not all the way healthy yet, right? Not fully recovered yet. All right. Hold on. I want to look up this word conflagration. Let me look up. Hold on, y'all. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Conflagration in London is what I'm going to look up. But you know what? It feels good to be back doing this. Y'all know YouTube, YouTube demonetized my channel. I forgot to tell y'all that. They demonetized the channel, canceled my Google Ads app, my Zoom, all my accounts, all messed up. So why would all of this stuff happen at the same time? I'm nobody special. This book and the others have been out for more than 100 years. 1892 plus 100 is 1992. Okay, it's already 2024. The Devil's Pulpit was published in 1851. Those lectures were given, I think, between 1829 and 1832, something like that. So I'm not bringing anything new. It's just the platform, as far as I know, I'm the only one who has brought these works publicly in their entirety. So clearly there is something that somebody don't want y'all to know. All right? There is something that somebody don't want y'all to know. Especially we're talking about the planetary hours, right? And how to harness it, how to harness cosmic energy, and then use it to inject completeness into your goals and objectives. Completeness meaning to make them successful. Somebody don't want y'all to know us to know how to do that. So maybe the reach of my YouTube channel is much greater than what it shows in my analytics. Okay? So y'all, let's continue. Oh, configuration. I almost forgot what I was doing. Okay, conflagration means conflagration is a proper pronunciation. Listen, y'all. Conflagration. Now, a large destructive fire. A fire extending to many objects or over a large space. A general burning. Wow. A large fire extending to many objects or over a large space, a general burning. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I saw a video where it said that Israel is threatening to retaliate against Iran using using nuclear weapons. Did y'all see that? I saw a video on YouTube about that today. I don't know if it's true. But that would definitely cause what? A large general fire, a large generalized burning. Or maybe it could be on another landmass. Maybe it could be in North America, or in Germany, or in France, somewhere. And then that would be used to what? As an excuse to initiate World War III. Or World War IV. But y'all get the point of what I'm talking about. Used to initiate a large war. Okay, now, let's continue. Let me go back. The appearance of a great comet in 1861 coincide with the Great Fire or the Great General Burning in London, which had not been equal for 200 years. All right, y'all? Now remember, that has to do when the comet is first seen in Aries. But now we're talking about comets that are seen in Gemini, first seen in Gemini. All right? And notice too, the amount of time that went by, all right? That comet that was first seen in the decanate of Gemini on the 22nd of May, And then on the 2nd of July, that's a couple months later. So what does this mean? It means if you are up on the game, if you know astrology and astrotheology, and that comet is coming, you got time to do what? Escape. You got time to escape. Those who don't know, they don't know. And we're told, what are we told? Return to the ways and the principles of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. That is astrology. That is astrotheology. So if you made that return, then guess what? You're up on game. And you and yours can escape. You can escape before these events happen. All right? Y'all see it? Now, let's continue. The great heat of the month of July in England, France, Australia. See y'all, these are all nation states, creatures of the Catholic Church. The great heat of the month of July in England, France, Australia, the United States, and North America will long be remembered, being one more instance of the heat of comet years. So 2024 is a comet year, right? The Devil's Comet that appeared with the solar eclipse. So we should expect what? Some extreme weather events involving heat. Let's continue. The death of President Garfield, in the midheaven of whose horoscope Comet B appeared. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So do you mean to tell me that if you know someone's nativity chart, if you know what celestial bodies show up there, do you mean you can use planetary hours to time an event affecting them? Do y'all see the power in that? They don't want you to know how to do this. They don't want us to know how to do this. Because see, now you don't need weapons. What do you need? You need to know mathematics. You need to understand astrology. What mathematics? Geology. Yes, geometry. You need to know geometry. You need to know how to look in the skies and see the zodiac signs. Also, you need to know what's, depending on where you're at on the planet, you need to know what you're looking at. For example, if you're at the equator or if you're between the tropics, 23.5 north and south, then you should what? You should be able to recognize, what is it called, y'all? The Magellan Clouds. Right? The pillar of clouds by day and the pillar of fire by night. So y'all, we have a lot to do as a people. We don't have time to be arguing about religion and stupid religious doctrines. No, we should be studying mathematics, astronomy and astrology and astrotheology. Right, y'all? Now, to do the planetary hours, you need to be able to do basic mathematics, addition, subtraction, division. You need to be comfortable doing it. Now, let's continue. Let me say this again. The death of President Garfield. Well, wait a minute, y'all. Go back up a little bit in the paragraph. It reads here. This is almost the middle of the paragraph. The President of the United States in 1881, that was President Garfield, was shot. Go down the bottom of the paragraph. The death of President Garfield in the midheaven of whose horoscope Comet B appeared. Y'all see that? See that? That was planned by whoever it was that had him assassinated to ensure that they would be successful. The death of President Garfield in the midheaven of whose horoscope Comet B appeared, the mourning for him in the United States, and the terrible forest fires quickly followed the appearance of these comets in Gemini. All right. Let me go back. It is singular to relate that the ancients aver that the appearance of a comet in Gemini pre-signifies tempestuous, stormy winds. Okay, now, those impetuous, stormy winds, or those strong winds did what? Spread fires, forest fires. Y'all see that? And the death of some famous and illustrious man. Like who? Like a president. Like a famous actor. Like a social media influencer. Like a famous entrepreneur. Like a famous government official. I can name a few who I hope this would happen to. And I also, says the author, at the portentous, quote unquote, yellow day. So y'all, I'm trying to put you in the frame of mind of the April 8th eclipse and the Devil's Comet that was right over the eclipse. And y'all know that, excuse me, at least from what I read, the Devil's Comet appeared before the eclipse and it's still thereafter. But I don't know, how many days it was there after or how many days before it was there. Okay? And I also asked, says the author, the portentous, quote unquote, yellow day with these coincidences in view. We can hardly wonder at the dread felt and expressed by our forefathers at the appearance of great comets. I'm on page 117. Here's a quote. And y'all know I usually don't like reading these quotes. This is a quote from Shakespeare, but listen to this one. Quote unquote, when the planets in evil mixture, well, you know what, that evil mixture just might be evil from the point of view who gets exterminated, but it might be justice being executed from somebody else's point of view who was injured by this person. In evil mixture, to disorder wonder, what plagues and what portents, what mutiny, that would involve what? Military or commercial ships. Militaries or commercial ships, right? What raging of the sea? Remember we talked about what? The hurricanes. And in this part of the world, in Southeast Asia, they call it cyclones. Shaking of the earth. What would that be? Hurricanes. I'm sorry, not hurricanes, earthquakes. Commotion of the winds. Tornadoes. Strong tempestuous winds, etc., right? Any type of storm that involves wind. Okay, it could be a hurricane producing winds on the ground, okay? Or it could be, like I said, a cyclone producing winds on the ground, or tornadoes, or just crazy winds. All right, now that quote was taken from Shakespeare. Okay, y'all, so this is what we should not be surprised or even expect. We should expect to see some stuff happening over the next few days, weeks, months, or year. Okay? Because of that comment. I'm tired. We didn't even get to chapter 11. So I'm gonna end the video right here. I'm gonna change the name of the video. Maybe I'll call it the comment. I'll put comments in it. Let me show y'all something. Let me see if I can get this. Let's try to show y'all a picture. Here we are. Let me see if I can find a better one. Hold on. Can y'all see that? Hold on, let me get the shadow out. It looks like it's reflected. Hold on. Can y'all see that? This is the 2024 Devil's Comet. That looks like the eclipse. Everybody see it? Right when the eclipse was happening, there's the Devil's Comet. Okay? Right? Two horns. But of course, there's no devil. I guess I should have said that first. So here's another view of it. Y'all see that? This is the 2024 Devil's Comet. All right? That was visible during the eclipse in certain locations. Now, of course, we have two. This is an even better picture. Y'all see it? See the two tails or the two horns? Let me call it two horns. Y'all see that? Hence the Devil's Comet. All right, this comet has two tails. In other words, what? Y'all see? I'll turn it the other way. Y'all see why it's called the Devil's Comet now? Looks like two horns, right? Okay. All right. There we are. Take a look at it this way. Y'all see that? Let me let the camera focus. All right, y'all. I hope y'all can appreciate this better now. And here's how this artist is representing it. Okay, the two horns represent the two tails of the comet, and of course, the face represents the comet itself. All right, y'all see it? Of course, there is no Satan the devil as a real person. It's just a story. All right. So I'm going to show y'all something else. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't do a screen share. So Dr. Yasapa is not making any of this stuff up. Y'all take a look at this. All right, y'all can read this on your own. There's a lot of articles. There's a lot of articles that talked about this. But I didn't hear so much about this. I heard more about the eclipse. And I'm getting a lot of pop-up ads. So y'all take a look at this, all right? So it reads here, the quote-unquote devil comet will be visible during the 2024 total solar eclipse. It's not often a bright comet is near the SUN sun during a total solar eclipse. On April 8, 2004, catch comet 12P/Pons-Brooks visit to the solar system. All right, y'all. So let's see what it brings. I just did a simple Google search. So the New York Times wrote about it. All right. Y'all see the New York Times wrote about it. Everybody see that? So now you're in the know about these comets and what to expect, all right? So here's my message to you. Here's my my wish, my hope, my admonition. Okay, if you are in religion, if you're a lower self more, transmute up. In religion, they say, change your evil ways. Okay, you cloven-footed. I'm joking. So, transmute up. All right? Start living by the highest principles. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Let me state it differently. Return to the Most High. Follow the Most High's commandments. The equivalent statement is live in harmony with nature. Respect nature, nature's God, and natural law. Transmute up and become the Christ. Become the Christ so that you can avoid the mass consciousness, that current that will sweep you away and you'll be injured and damaged. So in other words, fly above the crowds. The clouds. Fly above the clouds. Okay? City consciousness, Christ consciousness, become the Christ, and polarize yourself in the higher self. Polarize yourself in the Christ node. All right? So that you will not be affected by those events that will affect the masses. All right? So return to the Most High. Take back your heritage. Take back astrology. Take back astrotheology. Take back mathematics. Take back law. Take back the Southern liberal arts. Okay? Master the medical sciences, master linguistics, master law, master architecture, master astronomy, astrology. Y'all heard? And start using these sciences to build, to make things. Master agriculture, master water resources management, master civil engineering, electrical engineering, all of the sciences, okay? So let's get busy with mastery of the sciences and forget about debating and arguing. That is so lower self, y'all. You know, it's a disgrace. It's shameful and it is a disgrace to sit around arguing about whether or not the Bible is God's word, or whether or not you're black or not. This is disgraceful. Not only is it disgraceful, but it's out of harmony with nature. You're out of the constitutional fold. All right? So return to the Most High. Follow the Most High's commandments. How can you know them if you don't know anything about nature? Science is the observation of nature and then seeking to explain it. Technology is using that knowledge of nature to build something. And this is what our ancient ancestors did. Okay, so all of you Moors who want to follow the Most High, return to the Most High, spend your time becoming a master of the sciences. Okay? Becoming a master of engineering. We don't need their universities. We don't need them to do this. You can start on your own. You don't need anybody to teach you mathematics or astronomy. You can learn on your own. Y'all heard of Dr. Darrell-El? Start watching his videos on YouTube. You'll know who he is when you start watching. This is the most important, the most significant scientist that has ever lived. And the brother is still alive today. Google search him. Gaga. God Almighty, Grand Unified Theorem. Not theory, theorem. Y'all start learning. Islam to all the Moors. I'm Dr. Yasapu from, and if you want to study civics, learn law, go to enforcetheconstitution.org. Okay, that's where I get all my civic stuff from. Islam to all the Moors. I'm Dr. Yasapu from Zion Law School. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum.